Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Watchers live stream for October 23rd, 2024. Hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. My name is Garrett.
And I'm also Kevin.
And he's also Kevin. Hope you're all having a fantastic week. Kevin, how have you been over the course of the last week?
Good. Finished off my school. Oh, that's why I didn't watch movies. I had finals. That's what I was doing. So, finals. That's why I didn't watch as many movies this week. But then we had Halloween Horror Nights. That was super, super fun. And just work after that. So,
sure. Well, same with me. I had Universal Halloween Horror Nights this week, which we'll probably talk about that a little bit because we got our good friend who is also with us, and we'll kind of go over maybe what our favorite maze was. And then, yeah, that's about it. I watched a lot of movies this week, so I'm going to have to go through very quickly everything I watched. But let's go ahead and bring in our special guest. You know that it is spooky month. It is the month of October, quite possibly the best month of the year. But that means we have to have our very special guest, Nadia, from the YouTube channel Horror and More, back again for spooky month. Nadia, how have you been over the last week?
Hi, how are ya? I'm good. How you doing?
That hurt my wrist, Nadia.
What'd you call me?
I said that hurt my wrist.
That's why I didn't go excessive with mine. I just went like that.
Okay.
Well, there you go. But yeah, as you heard, we all were at Halloween Horror Nights last week on Wednesday. That's why we streamed on Tuesday last week. But this year was a lot of fun. I think we should just go ahead and talk about it a little bit here at the start. Obviously, how did we feel about it? I mean, obviously, I feel like Halloween Horror Nights is a little bit more kind of on topic to talk about here, just because it's more movie and IP related as opposed to like Knott's, and that was more just kind of original ideas. So what was the overall impression, and what was your favorite house this year? We'll start with Nadia.
Me. Well, this was my 8th year going in a row. It would have been my 9th, but COVID happened and they canceled it that year. My favorite second year in a row would be the weekend maze. That maze this year got me really good to a point where my heart was hurting. My heart was beating fast. I had to step aside after the maze and get some water. No maze has ever done that before. So it's automatically at the top because of that. Come on. So
I saw when her heart kind of stopped as well.
Yeah, you saw my heart jump out. You saw it. Yeah,
but
I hit the floor.
But overall impressions of the whole event. I know last year we said that it just wasn't as good as Knott's, but what did you think this year? Nadia.
Oh, me still. Sorry.
Yeah.
I personally liked Knott's a little bit better just because it feels more personal, not so Hollywood. No pun intended, because Universal takes place in Hollywood. I don't know. I just vibed better with Knott's, and you guys saw me getting chased in the scare zone, and like they don't do that at Universal, and I liked it better. I'm bummed that I haven't been going to Knott's all these years, but we're starting now. It's gonna be our 3rd year.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
Kevin, favorite house, and what was your impression of Halloween Horror Nights this year?
So my favorite house was the Insidious house. I heard nothing but great things about like a bunch of YouTubers that Nadia and I watch. Thought the Insidious house was the best house of this year, and I agree with him. There's a lot of jump scares, but yeah, The Weeknd always surprises me about how good I don't know if he plans them, but how good his horror aspect is with some of his like music videos, because those are supposed to be taken from music videos that he has. So it was cool to see him kind of still be there, but still be scary and not as like, oh, it's The Weeknd house, like hippity hoppity. But no, it was funny seeing Nadia get scared the shit out of her, because I was right behind her when that happened. But it was good. I do want to say, positive thing is the mazes felt a lot longer this year than past years, which I absolutely loved, because not Scary Farm, you're going through like 17 mazes, it feels like, for one maze, because they make it big. at Universal, usually the mazes are kind of smaller in that aspect. So I'm glad that they made it a little bit longer mazes and a lot more rooms. Only thing I don't like, they put the little freaking drapes everywhere that you have to like go like this with, and I'm like, be more creative with it, with like spider webs coming down. Maybe not the spiders itself, but like spider webs. Use different materials about it.
Sure. I also feel like Universal has too many transition rooms as well, like just too many sections that are just pitch black in between scenes, and so like that also kind of bugged me a little bit this year. Go ahead.
They use too much smell as well,
especially in one house.
Yes.
Yeah, which I was going back and forth about it because I was going to say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house was my favorite, even though it smelled like ass the entire time that we were in there. Horrible. But it was just like so well designed, and it was just lovingly done. I totally forgot until like recently, but the name on the outside of the slaughterhouse had Hooper in the title. Hooper was the director of the original film. So, I'm gonna go outside the box a little bit. I'm gonna say A Quiet Place was my favorite, just because it felt the most different, and the Angels of Death were very like they were all animatronic, and they weren't necessarily scary, but it felt the most in line with the films as opposed to a couple of the others, and so I really enjoyed that one. I would also say the Ghostbusters one was fun, wasn't scary, but it had a couple little moments here and there. There's one little marshmallow guy getting roasted, and you could smell marshmallows. It was kind of fun, but
yeah,
the animatronics were really good too. In Quiet Place.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of like the Universal money goes, right? Is those animatronics and the better masks, the better like visual effects and stuff that go on for sure. But yeah, they really need to cut down on transition chambers, and I feel like their scares are really telegraphed. They'll still get you, but like if the line's getting like snail's pace through, you can see the flashing lights of where you're going to get scared, and I feel like that's a little annoying.
I feel like they should regroup people. Like 10 per people, wait like 10 seconds or 5 seconds, then go again and stuff like that.
Kind of like the freeway when it's like stop, red car, one car per green.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd make the lines so long though, but you know, it's worth it because then you'll actually be able to walk through.
Exactly.
But, we need to have a special shout out to those two girls who were in front of us in the Death Valley maze. Who were like acting it out, and it was hysterical, and I literally felt like their dad because I was in the front of the group on that one. Like, all right, kids, let's keep going, and they're like crouching down and like hugging walls and peeking through. Shout out to them; they were hysterical.
One was like blocking traffic, like she didn't want to go through the room.
Yeah, I almost I kept like having to almost like push her, like, let's go, you have people behind you. So, but yeah, Universal, I would say it was improved this year over last year, but Knott's was still, I would say, a better experience this year.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's it for some fun talk about Universal. There's plenty of videos out there. Hopefully, I don't know if Nadia is going to be making a video on it, but if you do, make sure you're subscribed to her so you can check it out.
Oh, no.
Well, then still make sure you're subscribed, but there won't be a video. But let's go ahead and jump into the stories this week because we got a lot of them to get through. Up first, Venom: The Last Dance is receiving middling reviews, but it is still being called the best of the trilogy. It's got a 42% on Metacritic and a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes, but is still being called the best in the trilogy. So that makes sense.
I mean, if at least they're learning from what is wrong from the beginning of the movie, the first movie, I should say.
Oh,
so they're making
we'll have to go and
better. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see how it looks.
But that's Hopefully, if you're interested, go check it out.
Up next, a new American Psycho film has been announced to be directed by Luca Guadagnino.
Yeah, you're close enough.
I don't like the American Psycho movies, so I mean, I've only seen the first one. Not really looking forward to it, but let's see what he spits up and how it comes up.
Yeah. Luca Guadagnino is the director of the recent Suspiria remake, as well as the film Challengers that came out this year with Zendaya and the other actors.
Okay.
Does a lot of different genres, so I think it's cool that he's kind of like spreading out and doing different things, but a very much more artistic director. So I'm excited to see what he can do with that story. Hopefully make it, for Nadia, a better film. So
yeah, please.
Wait and see.
Yes. Avengers Doomsday will start filming in spring. In the spring, will release May 1st, 2026. Gosh, that's still 2 years away.
Yeah, but it
That's
feels
crazy.
so close. That's such a short turnaround time, though, for
Mm-hmm.
an Avengers film, I feel.
It's going to
So-
be pushed back.
We'll see. Yeah.
I
But-
think so.
Still super excited. Hopefully, it'll rectify everything going on. Next up, kind of this makes sense. Hans Zimmer's score for Dune 2 has been deemed ineligible for the Academy Awards this year. Not because it uses copyrighted work or anything, but specifically because at the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, a sequel cannot use more than 20% of the same themes and music from the original film and be nominated for an award. Since it uses a lot of the same music and motifs and themes, it cannot be nominated. So that is why it's not going to be nominated this year, but it can still compete for every other award, Golden Globes, Critics' Choice Awards, all those. It's still up for grabs, but
Okay.
just not for the Academy Awards.
Okay.
And on to Nadia.
An 8th VHS film has been announced. 8th. I liked the last one. We'll talk about that later. The first one, I don't remember finishing, so I'm gonna have to binge them all before seeing the new one. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, it's from the same director who did the last one, because that was. I'll talk about that later.
Well, the last one's multiple directors. There's a different director for each.
Oh, is it?
thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Well-
but and I know each one has like an overarching theme. Like the VHS Beyond, which just came out, was like sci-fi kind of themed. What would
Mhm.
you like to see as a theme for the next one, Nadia, if you had to choose?
More gore.
Okay. Like
Mhm.
VHS
I'd-
splatter or something.
I would like theme park.
Like
'cause-
taking place in a theme park.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah.
Like
or
have
a carnival.
streamers or something like that, because streaming is a huge thing. Have them streaming it the entire time, and that could be
Ooh, okay. Okay, Mr.
So-
Kevin.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Kevin.
I haven't seen any of the VHS films yet.
Me
I do
neither.
want to watch Beyond. So I will say that. And we'll talk about it a little bit later when we get to the coroner. Hopefully it'll push me into wanting to watch it even more. This is I don't think Nadia is gonna like this. I would like to see more of maybe like a period set one, like in the 40s or 50s, like earlier in time, or maybe one that's like set during like a world war or something. Like I think that would be like, I feel like World War I and World War II are really untouched when it comes to like decent horror. So
Okay,
I don't know.
you can see
No
that.
comment.
Like experimenting on people and stuff like that. That could be.
Yeah, or like, there's a really good like Love, Death, and Robots short about like the modern military and how they have werewolves working for them. So
Mhm.
like there's things like that I feel like you could do. So I
Okay.
don't know, or maybe just like a military focused one. I don't know, but
Okay.
Kevin.
Yeah, I'm up. Tom Holland joins Christopher Nolan's next film, which might be the horror film, correct?
It's either going to be a horror film or the espionage film that he wants to do as well.
Mm.
So
He's Tom Holland's everywhere.
well, he's in the middle of the comeback right now. He's, as we'll talk about in a minute with you, he has got another project on the way.
Yeah.
And he's
Mhm.
he took a break from film acting and is now coming back.
Okay.
Next up is me. Pixar is open to an Inside Out 3. Says that there are great ideas for the potential sequel. I mean, it makes sense. Inside Out 2 is the highest grossing Pixar movie ever, and one of the highest grossing animated films ever. So, I mean,
Why not?
Yeah, it's clearly connecting with audiences. So, you know, if they can hit the same stride that they did with Toy Story, absolutely go with
Yeah.
it. And if they continue to be as strong as they are, 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
And like we all grow up, there's all these different things that they can do to show like how we progress mentally. So
Mhm.
yeah, very exciting.
Terrifier 3's Lauren Lavera in talks to join the monster film cast from Saw director Darren Lynn Bousman. Is this like the Universal monster movies?
No, it's just a horror film called The Monster. No details on it yet. We do know that Jaimin Hansu is also cast in the film, who has been in several different films over the years. So
I mean, I liked her acting in both Terrifier movies, so
Mm-hmm.
She
I
certainly got a lot better in the third one.
yeah, I think she can do it.
She's definitely got like the future Scream Queen potential for sure.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
She's already like considered a final girl for
Yeah.
art. So
Yep.
I mean, I think she's more than a final girl though, but that gets into some lore spoilers for Terrifier. But I don't know. She's more of a warrior, I guess.
Okay.
Which I'm interested to see where they go with that for Terrifier 4. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kevin.
Yeah. Spider-Man 4 is different from anything we've done before, according to Tom Holland. We'll start shooting summer of 2025. So, well, yeah, because no one knows he's Spider-Man. So you kind of have to. I'm very curious on what they're gonna do.
Yeah. I mean, the rumors are still that it's going to be him, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire having to team up with Venom and going up against Null, who's the big bad guy from Venom 3. So who knows?
We'll see what happens in Venom 3, though.
This also makes it sound like he's not going to be in Doomsday. If he's going to be shooting in the summer, right when Doomsday starts in the spring.
those.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Why not both?
No,
Marvel can schedule.
Marvel can schedule around everything.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty, next up story. One of the biggest failures of the year, Joker Folie à Deux, will be available to rent on October 20th and will be available on physical media on December 17th. So if you didn't see the film, you'll be able to rent it, which I would just wait till it's on Max because it'll be on there probably at some point. But if you want to pay for it and rent it, go for it.
You didn't like it, right?
I give it like a 42, 44.
It was disappointing, he said.
Very disappointing.
Mm.
Compared to the first one. The first one is an incredible film. This one is very much a letdown. But I feel like it could be one that grows in popularity over time. It kind of becomes a cult classic, maybe. So
the second one?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll see.
Matthew Lillard says that Stu, which was his character in Scream, is definitely alive in the Scream series. Talks potential return to franchise. If you've seen the original, he dies.
Does he?
I mean, dies. So
it would be kind of like
it would
a shock
if he comes back. Go crazy.
Oh yeah.
If they saw him and Skeet return, they piss all over the theater.
If this happens, they need to keep it on the down low. Like they can't let it get out.
Yeah, no. He's the type that would like say he's in it. That's the thing.
Yeah, and that's
this kind of stuff that he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he's the Tom Holland of Scream movies. Tom Holland is horrible at keeping secrets for Avengers and stuff like that. So they give him fake scripts, Nadia, so he doesn't spoil anything. There's a big spoiler alert. Tony Stark dies. He thought it was a wedding he was dressing up for instead of his funeral.
Well, that's what they told everyone. Not just
okay.
Yeah, they literally said we're dressed up for a wedding scene, and then they got to the set. They're like, "Oh, by the way," and they're like, "What?"
Okay.
Dang.
But I mean, it'd be cool if it comes back. I mean, Neve Campbell's coming back in Scream 7, so who knows?
They had to pull the money out for that one, though. So
if Terrifier 3 is going to have people vomiting all over the theater, this one's going to have everyone pissing all over the theater, like Nadia said.
Yeah,
you might want to stay.
I'd piss. I'm just saying.
Oh man!
Oh right.
That's moving right along. Kevin.
Predator Badlands will release on November 7th, 2025. It takes Blade's spot, so Blade probably got pushed back a little bit, but I'm glad they're kind of pushing this forward a little bit, if that makes sense. Because Predator, the Hulu, I don't know, is that called Hulu exclusive Predator now, or what is it called? Oh, it's Prey. I'm stupid.
Prey was Hulu exclusive,
yeah. So, but Prey needed to be in theaters, so they should put this out in theaters because it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna be a great movie.
It will be. It's taking this theatrical slot of Blade. It will be releasing in theaters, and it is the same director as Prey. So very excited for this one.
Mhm.
Obviously, we have to wait until we see a trailer, but very excited.
Hey.
Alrighty. Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. It will only be one film. They're going to learn their lesson after The Hobbit, and they're going to keep it to one film. But another live-action movie is planned of some variety in the universe. So, hopefully, Hunt for Gollum is decent. It at least merits having another one. But yeah, that's about it for that.
Walking Simulator. Here we go. Keep going.
You haven't even rewatched it yet.
I know.
Coming up
I
They
on
know.
might
Movie Club.
upgrade it to jogging.
Speed walking simulator.
Mhm. They're all on treadmills. Okay, more Ghostbusters. Woo! Movies teased by Gil Keenan Thompson in active development. I'm excited.
The freaking ADHD came out. Jill,
Yeah, sorry.
Keenan Thompson.
I love the Ghostbusters movies except for one of them. The two
Afterlife.
originals. The two originals were best. Bring back the originals, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I'm excited for this. Sorry, ADHD is hitting me again. I don't know. I like the theme song.
There you go.
We're gonna get copyright. Don't say it. Next up, first reactions of Gladiator 2 are extremely positive. Which, I mean, we already have Denzel is an Academy Award winner. Not award winner.
He's
but
won an Academy Award, but not for this one. He will probably be nominated.
Gotcha.
It sounds
Yeah,
like.
and it looks just like a big adventure movie with big scale fights and stuff. So you can't go wrong with that sometimes.
Hopefully some good fight scenes. That water battle looks like it's going to be great.
Could they do that back in the day?
Oh yeah, that's a historical fact that they would flood the Coliseum
okay.
with water and bring in sharks and everything
That's
to
fucking sick.
recreate sea battles.
Okay.
Roman history is fucking cool. They're also really bad people. Twisters will be available to stream on Peacock starting November 15th.
Nice.
Yay! Because this movie is great, and most of you should check it out because it's a lot of fun. So, there you go. Kevin,
I have to watch the first one first.
Wow, that was
Yeah.
weird.
Why?
The
Chief
internet-
Priest 2?
The internet came back, and when you came, you went.
Oh, sorry.
moving right along.
The film the film adaptation of Until Dawn will release in theaters on April 25th, 2024.
Or 2025. That's my bad.
Sorry. Yeah, you wrote 2024.
That's my fault. Sorry.
Damn, it's already out. We missed it, guys.
2025. I like
Have
the video game. I saw a lot of walkthroughs for it, so it's kind of interesting what they'll do movie wise.
Yeah,
Excited to see
I agree, and hopefully it's not dark though. I felt like the video game when I was watching through it was a little bit dark at some point, so hopefully they can lighten it up, and then it'll be a lot
Turn
better.
on the lights.
You can't turn on
There
the
you go.
lights inside of the movie.
No, Nadia fixed it. She
it.
got it. So
Damn.
I didn't go to school for nothing.
Knives Out 3 teased by Josh Brolin says it's more like the first movie than Glass Onion. Sorry, I don't know why that tripped me up. It's more like first movie than Glass Onion.
Yeah, that looks funny.
It looks
that's
funny.
how the article was exactly typed. So
It's more
Really?
like first movie.
It's more like first movie Glass Onion.
don't blame me. Blame the author of that article.
He didn't proofread it.
No, I put it in ChatGPT
Cool.
and didn't check it.
I'm cool. I mean, I like the first Knives Out movie. I thought it was a lot better than Glass Onion. So cool. Lay it on me.
There you go. Next up, speaking of Josh Brolin, Lee Pace and Josh Brolin have both joined the Running Man remake cast. Awesome. I guess Josh Brolin's gonna be playing the main villain, and Lee Pace will play some sort of secondary antagonist. So
Is this with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
the original had Arnold Schwarzenegger. This one will have Glenn Powell and Katie O'Brien. So
Okay.
Yeah, really excited for this one. And Nadia.
Trick or Treat gets a graphic novel. Trick or Treat Witching Hours.
So like an anthology comic.
It's an
like
anthology
that.
sequel.
I like that.
Very cool.
I like it a lot.
I thought you would like that. It's not really like a movie thing. It's a graphic novel, but it's one of your favorite horror movies. So I thought I'd throw it on there for you.
Yeah.
I like it.
Definitely looks
like
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, and last story of the night.
Last story of this today. The day the Earth blew up, a Looney Tunes movie will be released in the United States theater on February 28th, 2025. I have not even seen a trailer for this movie, and it's going to be out in about 4 months.
I believe. Let me check.
That's right.
Earth.
Didn't even know this
Also,
was existing.
Looney Tunes mixed with Earth blew up just doesn't sound right to me.
So there is a couple of trailers online. So this is a fully animated 2D Looney Tunes movie that was supposed to be coming to theater. That was supposed to come to theaters. Then Warner Brothers pulled it and was not going to release it. The same thing they did with Coyote versus Acme, which blew up in their face. So they were like, okay, fine, we'll release The Day the Earth Blew Up, or whatever. Which, to date, is the highest rated Looney Tunes project that's ever been released in theaters. It is considered this movie has been screened for some film festivals, and the critics who have seen it have said it is legitimately the best Looney Tunes animated movie ever. And Warner Brothers was like, nope, we're not going to release it. And it was like, why? And it blew everyone's minds. It will be releasing in theaters now.
Okay. So it's not going to be like Space Jam 2. Got it. Sounds
no,
good.
Thank God.
Okay.
Alrighty, but that's it for the stories this week. Did have a story here.
mean,
Billy
a
was
comment?
shot in the head. Yeah,
Story.
comment, whatever. Billy was shot in the head. So
The end.
for him coming back would be stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
He was
but
shot in the head.
It could miss somehow.
Maybe it was
It's a movie.
fake bullet.
There you go. Fake gun.
Yeah.
Fake gun.
Fake
Fake
movie.
hole.
Fake movie. Fake killer.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Joey here. Best Looney Tunes movie, huh? I'll be the judge of that. Yes, he will.
Yes.
Joey is a consummate Looney Tunes expert. So he will be the judge.
Is that
of
sarcasm or is that legit?
No, that's like legitimate. We get all our shorts from him, and every time I see him, we
Oh.
always talk like Looney Tunes history and stuff. There's no man that knows more about the history of the different animators and directors and the history of Looney Tunes than him. So
If you ever have a Looney Tunes month, bring him in. Like this
we've
is
actually
horror
talked
month.
about doing a podcast about like going over the history of Looney Tunes and stuff like that. Would be a lot of fun.
That would be cool.
But that is for another day. Up next are the trailers that we got this week. We got a lot of them. So, Kevin, Nadia, what stood out to you guys this week?
Strangers Chapter 2
yeah.
because it sucks. First of all, that trailer didn't show anything. It was just her in the car.
That's good. That's okay if a trailer doesn't show everything.
That's not showing anything.
Exactly.
I'm not excited for it.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Werewolves.
Mom and Dad are fighting again.
You're the dad. Werewolves looks good. I just saw the trailer. At first, it didn't have my attention, but then in the lab, and when they get loose, that was great. Wolfman, seen this trailer way too many times. It's against my will, so I liked it.
This is the new trailer though for Wolfman, not the one we've seen a bunch.
I also saw Black Cab before you even made this list, and it looks interesting. It's like a kidnapping type movie. But that's it.
Okay. Okay. What stood out to me? Electric State kind of looks interesting as a Netflix movie. It has 11 from Stranger Things in it, and it looks interesting. AI being bad or robots being bad, and then having to do something about it. It's really cool. The Strangers.
Actually, the robots are good in it.
Yeah, they're good in it. That's a good part about it. The Strangers. It didn't look bad. It didn't look good. It didn't tell me anything, which that's okay. And the other one, Werewolves, just looks like a fun, like, we're going to go to the movie theaters and just have a blast watching it, I feel like. Because of I can feel like some actors or actresses make stupid decisions, and you're like, why are you doing that? like, and look over at your friends that you're sitting there and be like, that was the stupidest decision they could have ever made. So like one of those movies I can see us doing that with. What about you, Garrett?
Well, you know what, Kevin? Thank you for asking. I mean, you already mentioned Electric State. I think Electric State looks like it's going to be pretty cool. Very different from the original art. The original art's a lot more darker and more horror-y. This looks more like an adventure, kind of Spielberg-type epic. So we'll see. I think The Strangers Chapter 2 has a little bit of promise to it, just because it looks like it's going to take it out of the typical wandering around the house format, and it's going to go to something a little bit different. But for me, I think it's The Brutalist stands out. It's a very quick teaser trailer, but it is one of the movies that is pushing to the front of the Oscar list. So excited for that one.
Nice.
And we have lost Nadia.
Yeah.
Joey says, you're giving me way too much credit, Garrett. Well, you know what? Credit preserved, bud. You know a lot more than you let on. Alrighty. Kevin, why don't we go ahead and talk about...
I forgot to add him.
Kevin, I'm going to talk about these.
I got it. Smile 2. Came up at the box office in first place with $23 million. Right behind that, Wild Robot with $10.1 million. We do have a little story about that. Garrett will tell you at the end. Terrifier 3 with 9.3 million. Still looking strong. Love it. Beetlejuice. I don't know how this is still in here, but it's 5 million. And We Live in Time. I didn't even know this was coming out.
Yeah, actually, my roommates are going to see it right now. That's the A24 romance movie with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh.
Oh, okay. No, I do know this now. Okay.
Yeah. So Kevin mentioned a little bit of a story with the Wild Robot. I read an article today that the reason why the Wild Robot is ahead of Terrifier 3 this weekend is because that most people who bought tickets, or a lot of people who bought tickets for the Wild Robot, were teens that snuck out of Wild Robot and into Terrifier 3. So they could get tickets to go see Terrifier 3. If they actually counted, Terrifier 3 would be in second place this week. Nice. But because the movie's unrated and they weren't letting teenagers in, as they shouldn't, they
were doing their job.
They're fine.
And the reason why Beetlejuice is still here is because it's Halloween and it's, more of a family-friendly spooky movie. So that's why it's going to be there. I did actually just beat Dune 2 in terms of money made this year. So
really?
Pretty big. Which means we'll probably get a third one. Hopefully not. Let's go ahead and move on to the movies that are coming out this weekend. And as we talked about already, Venom: The Last Dance releases this Friday. In Venom: The Last Dance, Tom Hardy returns as Venom, one of Marvel's greatest and most complex characters for the final film in the trilogy. Eddie and Venom are on the run, hunted by both of their worlds, and with the net closing in, the duo are forced into a devastating decision that will bring down the curtains on Venom and Eddie's last dance. So we'll have to wait and see how this turns out. The first film in the trilogy directed by a female, so very exciting there. And I see Snoopy down there. Up after that movie I'm very excited about this week is Conclave. When Cardinal Lawrence is tasked with leading one of the world's most secretive and ancient events, selecting a new pope, he finds himself at the center of a conspiracy that could shake the very foundation of the Catholic Church. Very positive reviews coming out about this one. Very excited to see it. It's by the same director, Edward Berger, who did the Netflix All Quiet on the Western Front. So very excited for the quality of this one. It looks gorgeous. Up next is Magpie, an upcoming thriller. A couple find their lives turned upside down when their daughter is...
Sorry.
Notice how I listen intently during everyone else's segments, but they're bringing in Snoopy in the corner.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. A couple find their lives turned upside down when their daughter is cast alongside a controversial major star. This is an upcoming thriller starring Daisy Ridley. So she's having a little bit of a comeback right now, which is good. She deserves it. She's a great actress. And finally, All You Need Is Blood. An aspiring teen filmmaker casts the perfect lead for his breakout zombie film, His Undead Dad. So
wait, that sounds kind of funny.
It's a horror comedy coming out this week. So
there it is.
There you go.
That's fine.
Alrighty, and that is going to be it for the movies coming out this weekend. But as you know, we have a very special guest on the show this week. She's right below me, being controlled by a rat. Now, she is, of course, known as Horror and Morer, but here she has her Horror and Morer cornerer. So, Nadia, what is the first movie that you want to talk about this week for your cornerer?
I'm standing in my corner. See, VHS Beyond. That I did not expect to like this movie, and it was a blast. There's different segments, and one of them was super disturbing, and it was the doggy daycare one. If you've seen it, you know it's messed up. And then there was like a police POV of him shooting the zombies. Great movie. Great. I recommend it just because there's a lot going on. And if you like kind of anthologies, it's great. There's one that takes place in like a orange tree maze.
Orange Grove.
Something like that, where all the oranges grow. Yeah. Or maybe it might be lemons. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. But that was great too. Next, it would be Mr. Crockett. Bro, that movie was nuts. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese type movie. Not really. No, it's not. It's I said it was Candyman meets I Saw the TV Glow type. And there was another movie in there that I put it. But it's like a kid that misbehaves, and the mom randomly finds this VHS tape that pops in her doorstep, pops it in, and it's Mr. Crockett, like, "Hi kids" type. Oh, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's who I put it with. And he goes after kids who are mean to their parents, and he basically punishes them, and he kidnaps them, and the parents go crazy, and he can come out of the TV. It's great. It's like The Ring type. Yeah, I did not expect to give this 5 stars, but I was thoroughly entertained.
Cool.
All right.
I'm back in my corner.
That's a Hulu exclusive as well. So
Yes.
if you have Hulu, it's available there.
Or Disney Plus. Well, no. Yeah, Disney Plus, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it has all the Hulu stuff on
Yeah.
it. So, but it kind of sounds like it sounds like it was more what you were expecting. I Saw the TV Glow to be.
The only reason I say it's because of that is because there's a lot of TV scenes where it's just glowing, and the parents have to put their hands on the TVs to get sucked into that dimension.
Sure.
So that's how I referenced it for.
Sure.
Yeah.
All righty, and that's going to lead us. Let me change up the music here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go ahead and talk about the movies we watched over the course of the last week. Now, I watched a lot, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the movies that I watched, except for the ones that I do want to highlight. So I will go through those pretty quickly. Nadia also has quite a few movies that she watched this week as well. Kevin only has one outside of the wheel spins. So Kevin, you're going to start us out.
Yeah. Okay. Terrifier 3. We all went to go see this. I gave this 5 stars out of 5, but I gave it a 93, just because it could have maybe not the acting, but like some of it was a little bit slow at some points, so the pacing wasn't too much there, but everything else was fantastic. So I absolutely love this movie. I gave it a 93 out of 100. I know it's still in theaters, so I don't want to spoil anything, but I do want to say, if you've seen the bedroom scene, the shower scene in this movie doesn't even compare to it. So we'll go from there.
So you thought the bedroom scene was better?
Yes.
Okay.
Much better.
Same.
See, I'm the opposite. I feel, but I think for me, the bedroom scene was overhyped. Because everyone
There
always said
was
it's like
just a lot going on. When you think it's over, he just keeps going.
Sure, but maybe that's also why I didn't like it, because it just kept going. I don't know.
Okay.
And she's still alive.
That's
Somehow.
yeah, exactly. Through sheer
Somehow.
willpower, she's still alive. Alrighty, so that is Kevin's movie. So Nadia, we'll go ahead. We'll start out with your first one here.
Oh, yeah, it's Magic Charlie Brown, which is I have this Peanuts DVD bundle that comes with the specials, and each episode comes with a different episode. So this was a Halloween episode type. But yeah, I love Snoopy. I love Peanuts. I have the merch. Hello, and it's a fun little skit that they do. I like it. It's entertaining to me.
Gotcha. And you've seen It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, right?
Yeah, that's the one that comes with this episode. This is the additional.
Gotcha.
Much prefer the Great Pumpkin. Step Brothers. My mom wanted to watch this. I wouldn't have watched it with my own will. It's great, very funny, comedic. Everyone has seen this movie. It's funny because we were just talking about this last week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 4.5. Diary of the Dead. Not good. I don't even know if I finished it. I don't remember it. Nothing. I know it's by George A. Romero. But the steelbook looks really cool though, and that's probably the best part of this movie.
Okay.
And that's a disappointment because I love zombies. Freddy vs. Jason, classic. It's in my top 10 of favorite movies of all time. It's just dumb, fun cheese with two iconic slashers going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Great kills.
I like when Freddy plays the pinball machine.
Yeah, with Jason.
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I think I like the first one better, but this one was a decent sequel. I gave it right in the middle, 2.5 stars. Good kills still, but not as good as the first. It's hard to top the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The Mousetrap. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, it's like a Mickey Mouse looking guy that terrorizes kids in an arcade, and it has some twists. It has good kills. It's kind of boring sometimes, hence the 2 stars. But it's good cheese also. Terrifier 3, obviously 5 stars for me because I love the gore. I love this. It had a good storyline actually. It's hard to do that with horror movies just because most people just watch it for the kills, not the storyline. But it was pretty. I was pretty terrified in a good way. 2 girls in front of me were hella annoying. I'm just saying. The Pyramid, which was my wheel spin, quote unquote. No. The Descent did it better with as far as cave movies go. It was dark, like dark. I couldn't see anything. Boring. I wish to see more of the creature because the creature was cool. There's the 1 star for the creature. I think I fell asleep. It's hard for me to fall asleep in movies, but this, Gary, good job.
Yeah, this movie's really bad. I wanted us to find a movie that we could both like hate actively together. So, I mean, I do agree. The monster looks pretty cool, but it's only there for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, that movie is.
Oh, I did want to say about Terrifier 3. We had a great audience, except for the 2 girls in front of us. But everybody was laughing when Art would do his facial expressions or like, like that when
I love
the
his
gore.
expressions.
When the gore came on and stuff, I could hear like little whispers, like "Oh my god," like stuff like that. So I
will say really quick, those 2 girls had the whole theater to sit, and they decided to sit in front of me where I like to stretch my legs, and that annoyed me right away. I wanted to move, but I was like, no, I was here first. And second, one of them was filming the movie and taking pictures, and she was like on Instagram and Googling Terrifier. It was so annoying. That's it. Rant over.
Yeah, should have kicked their seat. Just saying. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So
what'd you watch?
Let's go ahead and go through them pretty quickly. A couple of these I'm just going to go through pretty quickly just because I watched too many movies this week. Up first is a new HBO Max documentary called They Called Him Mostly Harmless. This movie is engaging at first, even with it has a stupid storyline about 2 middle-aged women having a Facebook beef. But much like the internet, it's so much more concerned about the search for this person and who he was without learning about too much who he is as a human being, because he's a pretty not good guy, but they just gloss over that. And so it's just not that good of a documentary. I would recommend skipping it. Up after that was Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which is probably the best Scooby-Doo movie I've ever seen. So if you're looking for something fun and spooky to watch, go ahead and check it out. I think the story this time is pretty good. It doesn't have the it goes over like the team splitting up in a good way instead of the live action where it's really cynical and they just hate each other, and it was just better. The voice cast great, The antagonists are really good this time. I thought they were fantastic. And the twist is one I just saw coming. It's not incredibly great, but it's one of the better straight-to-Cartoon Network movies I've ever seen. So there is that. This review, okay, I do want to preface, this review is a little bit lower than I actually think the movie is, so I do need to go back and rewrite this review. But I did finally watch A Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time. And 79, in hindsight, is too low. I have way more positive things to say about that movie than I do negative things, so I do need to bump this up. It would probably be about an 85, 86. This is a classic. This is an iconic movie for a reason. Freddy Krueger is a very iconic, and I would say he's a pretty scary villain to have in a horror movie. Some really iconic kills in this movie, particularly Johnny Depp disappearing into the bed and then the geyser of blood coming out. Just a really good Halloween season movie. So again, I do need to update this. This should say about like an 86, but I'm going to be rewriting my review. My only critique is I did not think that Heather Langenkamp was that good in this movie. The main girl, I thought she was a little too annoying throughout most of the film. But that does fix in a later film, which we'll talk about. Up after that is one of my guilty pleasure movies, Anaconda, from 1997 with Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez. This movie sucks, but I love it. I'm a sucker for those movies where people are trapped somewhere in like a remote location and they just can't get out because there's a creature or something there. They're not great movies, but for some reason I love them so much. The cast is not that good here. Ice Cube and Jon Voight are the only two who are really the highlights here. Jennifer Lopez is just Jennifer Lopez in the Amazon. It's literally all her character is. Oh, I can direct a short film. Yeah, the snake is awesome when it's practical. It looks great, except the CGI looks terrible when they do CGI. There's one scene that happens in this movie, one shot, that is horrifying. And if you've seen the movie, you know. Let's just say it involves someone being eaten. But yeah, guilty pleasure of mine, but it is not a great movie. But a movie that is truly not great is a 50s movie called First Man into Space. It's about a man, this is before he went to the moon, a man who goes into space once and comes back a little bit loony, comes back a second time and turns into a blood-sucking monster. It's really bad. It's one of those 50s sci-fi B movies you'd find in a collection of like 100 of them at Target for $10. I don't know why this is all over like Criterion Channel and Max right now, but it is... The monster looks great for the 50s, great makeup effects, but it's just a really boring. It's mostly just people standing around talking like, we're going to have to find this monster. What do you suggest we do, doctor? And it's like that for an hour. It's really annoying. But yeah, it is annoying. But the monster looks great. Up after that is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. I didn't think this was as good as the first one. It does have some really cool practical moments, and I really appreciate the practical effects in this movie. I think that the main character is a bit more better than the main character of the first movie. Also, I do like the attempt at telling a story of a sexually confused teen. They do really kind of go around with him that he might be a bi or whatever, experiencing some questioning. But it just kind of feels a little bit bungled at times. It's a decent sequel. It's not great, but it's not bad either. Still had fun with it. It's hard to not have fun with the Friday or the Nightmare on Elm Street movies so far, at least. Up after that, one of my favorite movies of the year so far, The Substance. If you are at all a body horror fan, you need to watch this movie. It is fantastic. Demi Moore hopefully gets some awards love this year because she is fantastic in the film. Margaret Qualley is also really good. Dennis Quaid fittingly plays a creepy old executive named Harvey. A little bit like Harvey Weinstein. It is the last 45 minutes. If you can see this movie and not go in spoiled, that audience reaction will mess you up because it is a weird last 45 minutes. But it is such a biting satire. It is super critical of the fashion industry and beauty standards in Hollywood. So very refreshing film and a very good one too. Very good practical effects and makeup. Up after that, Apollo 18, one of the worst found footage movies I've ever seen. I don't know if Nadia has seen this one, but I would highly recommend not watching it because it's very boring. Nothing happens in this movie. It does get some points because it takes place in like its location you've never really seen before, which is inside the lunar capsule in like the 70s, which is a cool idea. Other than that, it's boring and it doesn't do anything. It tries to go for scares that just do not work. It's a really bad movie. Don't watch it. But from that to a really good one, and one that really surprised me, The Blob from 1988. this movie is way better than the original. This movie has incredible practical effects. It is almost like it's almost funny with some of the things they go with. They definitely joke around with some of the tropes in these. I didn't know that Shawnee Smith was the main girl in this movie from the original Saw. Well, a couple of the Saw movies. And she ends up being a badass by the end of the film, which is kind of fun. I really love this movie. Really good effects. It's a great Halloween movie for sure. And way scarier than the original. Like the fact that you see people melting inside of the blob is fantastic.
It's a great remake.
Probably one of the better films. It's a remake of the original material that I can think of. Like
the Fly.
The Fly too. Actually, that's right. The Fly, The Thing, and The Blob. All three of them are better remakes of the original. All right, and on to one of my most treasured discoveries this week. For me, I loved A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. This was a fantastic movie. This is Freddy as I know him, the wisecracking son of a bitch who is getting some really good kills here, specifically the blood marionette and the TV kill are fantastic here. There are a couple points where this does get a little goofy. I'm a huge D&D fan, but the wizard got a little weird, but you know, it's okay. It makes sense because they're in the dream world. But the practical effects, the stop motion is really fun in this movie. I didn't know there was going to be so much stop motion, like puppet and a couple other things. Really fun. It can get a little too goofy, but I absolutely just enjoyed this movie to death. Heather Langenkamp really improved this time around as Nancy. I thought she was much better here than she was in the first movie. So far, I would say the original is still better. This one is my favorite, for sure.
Get ready for that roller coaster drop. Here you go.
That's what I've heard. So I plan on finishing this and Halloween, hopefully by the end of the month. So.
Okay.
And then I did watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I am going to disagree a little bit with Nadia here. I do think it is slightly better than the first one. I think that similar to Terrifier, they've actually listened to a couple of the criticisms. They did some better cinematography. It's got a bigger budget. The makeup and the practical effects are better this time around. But the problem is you never really see them. They always cut away from things too quickly. It's like the characters just do not, for the life of them, act like human beings. It is what it is. Like, if you're going to watch this movie, you're going to watch it. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. You know, it's there. I'm still excited for the Pooniverse, though. So
Pooniverse.
And I love the teaser at the end of the movie with like Bambi and Pinocchio and Peter Pan. I'm really excited to see what they do with that. Like, these are starting to become guilty pleasures. Specifically, the second one. I think the first one is just too bad. But the second one for me is more of a guilty pleasure for sure. And I still love the part when they're watching the original movie on the TV, and like I think Winnie the Pooh's like, it's pooing time or whatever.
Oh yeah. I thought that was funny too.
Oh, it was hilarious. Just a little dunk on Morbius is fantastic. But that is it for the movies we watched this week. Before we get to the wheel spin, we've had an influx of comments though. So let's go ahead and see here. Wait, what? Another American Psycho? Is Lionsgate involved? Hopefully not, because they've been just flubbing it from time to time. What about the duology from 2002 to 2004, which was written by James Gunn, who's doing Superman Legacy? I have no idea. I've seen Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and the others in 2020. I thought Demi Moore got panned. No, widely considered to be one of her best performances ever. I'm looking more for kind of on-topic comments here. My favorite horror movie of all time, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Yep. First film to use the film box, even though the trailers and TV spots use the red line. Interesting. The Scooby-Doo duology. Oh, okay. Yeah, much better than the duology. The duology is just bad. The second movie is better than the first one, for sure. But, yeah, those movies are not good. So, alrighty. Let's go ahead and dive into the wheel spin movies this week. Kevin, I've been talking a lot recently.
You know what? Yeah, I'll go. You've been talking a lot. So let me do the DuckTales, the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. That's a mouthful of a movie title, first of all. I don't know how they fit it onto a poster, but as I'm watching this movie, I realize I remember watching this movie as a little kid, and I knew everything that happened after it. So that kind of sucked because I'm like, oh wait, I know the outcome of everything. So but I still watch it. It's really good, really goodly animated, really good animation, but it's Disney, of course, it's gonna be good. But the kids get a little bit of annoying, and it's just like a good adventure movie, and it's only an hour and 10 minutes, so it's not really, I wouldn't say a big movie or like a normal length movie, but it's just good. Like you put it on for the kiddos, perfectly fine with it. So I gave it a 43 out of 100.
All right. My first movie this week was Bad Boys. What you gonna
do?
1995. I did not like this movie. This is an anomaly. There's one really good thing about this movie, which is Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. Their chemistry is fantastic. They're really good together. But everything else in this movie is so annoying. There is not a single person in this movie is likable. Everyone is just a piece of shit. And so it's like, why do I care? The action is totally mediocre. It's that Michael Bay action. If you know what I'm talking about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's just the problem is that their chemistry is so good, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, or Lowry and Burnett, but they then take them and pull them apart for most of the movie. One of them has to be the other. That's something you can do for a second movie, but not the first movie. They're too good together, and they don't spend enough time together. And so, hopefully, I've heard that fixes itself in the later movies, but this one was just annoying. It's just such a nasty, hateful movie. Everything's disgustingly sweaty. It's just a gross movie. I don't know. I did not like it. Sorry, if anyone who does like that thing.
It's okay. Mine was Ring, the Japanese, and it's called Ringu, actually. That's what I learned.
Well, yeah, on Letterboxd it's titled Ring, but...
Oh, that's weird, because I typed in Ring, and it didn't do the Japanese one. It only did the American version.
Here,
but it was a little disappointing. I gotta admit, it's more of a detective movie, and then at the end, there's some horror aspects in it. But the Samara, yeah, that's her name. Samara looks really good in this movie. You don't get to see her until the last 10 minutes of it, but that's one of the bad parts about it. But TV looks great. The videotapes that they used were really cool, and there's a little bit of a twist in there, actually about 2 of them that I didn't see coming, which was very nice to see. But it doesn't get me excited to watch the American version of The Ring because I thought it would be more horror aspect of it. And I do have to say, this is not the Mother of the Year award. The kid watches the tape, and then the mom just goes on an island to try to destroy the tape and leaves the kid with the grandpa. So it's like, okay, you don't care about your son at all. But then there's a twist that yeah, yada yada. 63 out of 100. It was just okay. As a detective movie, I'm thinking about it, it's really good. As a horror movie, it is not that good.
All right. Up second for me is Young Woman in the Sea. This is we just talked about Daisy Ridley earlier. This is the movie about her playing the real-life woman who was the first woman to swim across the English Channel. This was released this year. It's perfectly average. This is a paint-by-numbers, formulaic, inspiring, true story type movie. It does stay relatively faithful and historically accurate, which is nice to see. However, the best part of this movie is Daisy Ridley. This is probably the best performance of her career next to the Star Wars films. I think she's really good here. She's not award-worthy or anything, but she is good. The movie is mostly pretty slow when it's not dealing with the actual swim attempt. When it gets to the swim attempt, that's when the movie is actually really exciting and fun to watch. There's a scene involving jellyfish, which is kind of hard to watch. So be forewarned. Not because she kills them or anything, but she has to swim through them. So it's kind of rough. But there's not much else to say. It's formulaic. It's there. I mean, for families that have kids who are old enough to understand what's going on, but not old enough yet to have their favorite movies, this could be something to watch. Also, for people who are really into true to life, historical biopic type stuff, I think you'll really enjoy it. My parents would probably really love this movie. So, it has an audience. I just was not one of those audience members.
Okay. Okay. Next up for me was Wind Talkers, I was gonna say a horror movie, a war movie that doesn't get talked about enough because this is a really good movie about how we use Native Americans in what it was World War II.
Mhm.
Yeah, World War II. And how they communicated to not get intercepted by the Japanese army. And it was very interesting on how they went about it. I knew there was going to be like some conflict in there. Oh, they're Native American, we're Americans, stuff like that. Like being real America in that tone of aspect. But Nicolas Cage and the main Native American that we have that you get to follow along with, I think his name is Ben. It says Ben a lot in it, and they just mesh really well in this movie. It's a little bit of game of cat and mouse or tug of war. They hate each other, they like each other, they hate each other again, and then it all comes into fruition at the end of the movie. And it's just good. It's just a good war movie that I've never heard of, which a lot of people should be talking about. And there's a lot of gore in this movie, like limbs being like blown off and stuff like that, which I was not expecting. So it was kind of cool on that aspect as well. So 76 out of 100.
Alrighty. And my last one for the 70th anniversary is Creature from the Black Lagoon, which Kevin had picked for me, as I had picked Ringu for him. Man, just leave the horny fish man alone. He just wants to hug Julie Adams, okay? Like, just let him be. I mean, who doesn't want to hug Julie Adams? She's gorgeous in this movie. I even wanted to watch this for years. I'm so glad that I did. It's the perfect mix of a 50s creature flick with a great environmental message as well, and leaving like habitats alone. The cast is fine here, but the standout for me was Julie Adams. She's much more than a damsel in distress. Like, she actually has a lot more to her character here. And the makeup and the practical look of the actual monster itself is fantastic. The cinematography, specifically underwater, major kudos. The fact that they had separate people who performed the underwater stuff as opposed to the on land. The cinematography itself for the whole movie looks a lot better than a lot of the monster movies at the time. So really appreciate it. Looks like it had a lot more of a budget behind it. I'm really excited to see what James Wan will do with this as a new remake. So this movie was really a lot of fun. I mean, not my most favorite of the monster movies. I still think The Invisible Man is my favorite so far, but this is probably a close second. Like, it is, it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
All righty. I know you're probably sick of us talking about movies for a minute, but we just have a couple more minutes, I swear. I got some comments here. Walt Disney Productions keeps on doing these things like remakes and everything. Yeah, but they make money, so they're going to keep doing them. Let's see here. Bad Boys is peak 90s dumb action cheese and one of the few Michael Bay movies I like. Also, Téa Leoni is cute. Bad Boys 2 is worse, though, in every way. Well, now I'm not that excited to watch it. But I've heard 3 and 4 are much better, though. So, because they're not directed by Michael Bay, so maybe that helps. Let me see here. 70th anniversary, but that was from Universal International. Well, it's the 70th anniversary. I'm okay with it. Yeah, well, 70 years old. The merch was all over the place at Universal Studios. Kind of mad I didn't get a t-shirt, because there were some cool t-shirts there.
Yeah.
But,
That'll be $100.
No, it's not Disney. It's Universal.
Yeah, they're at least
Sorry, 90.
Yeah.
90. Yeah, $10 off.
Righty, that's going to bring us to our favorite time of the show. But before we spin the wheel, we got to pick what movie is for Naughty.
Me.
So, Kevin, what's the movie that you are suggesting?
So what I'm suggesting, she does not have this on her letterbox. It is a cult classic, something that she wants to watch this year. It already had a first movie. It's going to be the second movie. It's The Conjuring 2.
I have seen it,
I know,
but I haven't reviewed it.
You haven't reviewed it though.
Okay, I'm down to watch that.
Well,
There you go.
It has to be picked. Hold on, we gotta
Okay,
get.
I'm just saying.
Maybe she'll watch it anyway.
Oh, that's
Maybe
true.
End up watching both. Mine is a film that I have never seen, but I've heard good things about. It's got a good mix of critic and audience reception, and it's not on your Letterboxd, and that is 1408.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know about it.
With,
Oh.
Mr. John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, the
So-
cover has like a key on it.
Yep.
Okay.
And it is on Peacock. I was specifically looking for things that you wouldn't have to rent. So
Yay.
Okay, so since I went first, I will be heads, you will be tails.
sure.
And it's flipping. Yeah, nobody can see it, but it's flipping, and it's The Conjuring 2.
Sweet. Okay.
There you go. So
Yeah.
Conjuring 2 is what Nadia is going to watch for next week.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead. Let me pull up the reel. Alrighty. So, if any of you have any suggestions that you'd like to put on this massive wheel, go ahead and get those in now. I'm going to go ahead and check, actually, that archive.org is back up and running. And it is. So, I know, Joey, you said you had a bunch of shorts you wanted to add onto the list because we're running a little bit low. Go ahead, submit them, because the archive.org is back up. Nadia, do you have any movies that you want to throw on here?
Yes.
Okay.
So what are they?
VHS Beyond,
Mm,
Mr.
mhm.
Crockett, and I had a third one. Garrett, have you seen Freddy vs. Jason?
I have, and I have.
He hates that movie.
It's a guilty pleasure movie. It's
Okay.
like, it's not a good movie, but I do enjoy watching it. We watched that together. That was like a Halloween, like 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe it was 2
Mhm.
years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, really funny movie. More of an action movie than a horror for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so bad that it's good, in my opinion.
I can't remember my third one, but those two will do for now.
Just for those of you who are saying I thought it was hacked, it is back up. I was just pulling it up and I was able to search through it. So, all right, so we got some shorts here from Joey. Oops, hold on. Let's see. Wait, why does it keep moving?
Presidential debate.
There we go. Let's see.
Sweet Home Alabama.
And these are shorts, so let me go ahead and add that on there.
Oh, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde would be cool to get.
Do you just think of these on the fly?
He did tell me that he had these ready to go. Wait, no, these are movies. Oh, these are movies. Okay, never mind.
I was
Oh,
gonna say they sound like movies
Sweet
because I've
Home is
seen
from-
Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll? You mean not
Maggie.
not Mr.
I
Hyde?
haven't seen Mr. Hyde, just Dr. Jekyll.
Oh, Dr. Jekyll. You got the cut-off version of it.
Yeah, I got the pirated version.
Mr. Hyde, horror of Dracula, the horror and more of Dracula.
Have you seen Dracula, the original, Garrett?
Yes.
How do you like it?
I think it's a total it's like tonally and like mood. It's fantastic. It's a little boring,
Okay.
but it is
Great
like
music though.
Yes. And like the Mummy, the environment and the tone and the vibe are great, but it's just everything else. Bela Lugosi is fantastic. He is Dracula. I swear they just cast Dracula himself. But any other movies? I already got Mr. Crockett and VHS Beyond in here. Nadia, I think you said there was a third one though.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, you've got some time.
I'll do it next week if I remember.
Alrighty. Any other shorts? Oh, there we go. All right, I meant to say movies, but
The chicken from outer space. Duck
Why does it keep
pimples.
double clicking?
I was clicking it on accident.
Claws for
Okay.
chicken from outer space sounds interesting.
It sounds really funny, actually.
We got
Duck
clowns and we
pimples.
got chickens.
Duck pimples. That's when
Duck
ducks go
pimples.
through
Puberty.
puberty. Yeah. Claws for alarm. Scaredy cat.
Have you seen Misery, Garrett?
I have not seen Misery. I really
Oh.
Okay, that's my third one.
And Mr. Mouse. I have seen that short before, but I haven't reviewed it. Hair raising hair.
Wait, Joey, which one? The chicken from outer space was
Yes.
Courage? What? That's cool.
Man, that was probably one of the.
Put down Misery.
Oh yes.
Haven't seen it, so do it for you.
Alrighty. And we'll go ahead and cut it off there. We've had a lot of suggestions. We've been going for a while. So let's go ahead and we're gonna spin that wheel. You want to go first, Kevin? You want to go second?
Yeah. No, I'll go first.
Alrighty, Kevin's first movie is
Or short.
or short.
Or short.
Oh shit!
He wasn't ready.
I didn't think it would land on it.
I would like a horror movie, kind sir, if you do not mind.
You want a horror movie?
Mhm.
Shit. Fuck! I was not ready for this.
How was a presidential debate 37 hours long?
Huh?
I don't know.
Kevin, have you seen Anaconda?
No, I have not.
Yeah, watch Anaconda.
Okay.
It's not great, but it's so much fun.
Okay.
All
You
right,
get to see J-Lo wet.
What?
that's a sentence. All righty. Let's go ahead and do my first one.
Have you seen Anaconda, Nadia?
Long time ago, yeah.
All right, I've already reviewed that, so we'll go ahead and shuffle it up.
Help is on the way.
On the way, dear.
There is actually a stage production of that.
I know. I looked at tickets because my mom wanted to go.
Oh, you should take her. What the? That's never happened.
That's gross. We have
It's a sign.
258.
I've already. What did I even give it? I know I do like it. The Thing from Another World. That's the movie that The Thing is based on.
This is your movie?
No, not my movie. Garrett's
his
movie.
movie.
This is Doubtfire. I gave a 80. Yes, I do enjoy it.
So good.
The Thing from Another World. Yes. Okay, this was the one that The Thing was based off of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on Tubi. Nice. All right. So let's go ahead and shuffle it up. Kevin, your second movie.
Or short.
Or short. Yeah, that's right.
It's a hort.
The People Under the Stairs.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
Nadia win. 2 horror movies for Kevin. I actually just saw, for those of you who like horror and know the band Ice Nine Kills, they did a song about The People Under the Stairs. So
There is
Yeah.
a doggy death. I must warn you.
Okay.
alrighty. And...
Is it called Harry Potter, the song? Garrett?
No, I think it's just called The People Under the Stairs.
No.
Or something related to it.
Hmm.
But Harry Potter would be a great name. Alrighty,
Another
and my
movie.
second movie. Oh, and it's a Nadia one. The Faculty.
Oh,
Yes! Yes!
sorry. The Faculty's so good.
You better like that bitch.
Whoa.
You know what's funny? There's
I'm not
like
calling
one-
him that. I'm calling the movie that.
It's on Paramount Plus. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is there's one movie that I'm actually like, I'm scared to watch, which is Halloween 3, because like I don't want to not like it and have my
Yeah,
friends
we won't
abandon
be
me.
friends anymore.
So I'm almost,
Yeah.
I'm almost avoiding watching it.
Well, you're gonna have
I
to
might
for
enjoy
Halloween.
it though.
So,
So, alrighty, Kevin,
Short.
you're short.
well, you're gonna have to watch it for Halloween franchise. So,
Oh yeah, it's the next one too. Okay,
because it
let's
is so
see.
good too. I
Another
got
good
3 horror movies.
Yours is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Mouse.
Yes, sort of.
Mr. Mouse.
Mr. Mouse raises prices up $200.
All right, we'll go ahead and I gotta find it here real quick. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Mouse. There it is. All right. And let's go ahead and get a short for myself. Maybe I'll watch Halloween 3 tonight.
You should. It's very good.
If you don't like it, that's your fault.
Okay. Let's see here. Kevin, yours is
No.
Cup
I
Pup.
already got mine.
You're short.
Yeah. I already
Oh,
got my
this is
short.
for me.
Yeah.
Well, oh, that hurt my brain. Mine is Hiccup Pup.
You just made the last. Sorry.
My brain hurt.
Hiccup pup.
Alrighty. Whew, that hurt my brain. Alrighty. So those are the movies that we'll be watching this week. I think it's all of them are horror. Yeah, The Thing from Another World, The Faculty, Anaconda, and The People Under the Stairs. All horror movies.
Wow. What way to go. Right,
what a month to get that at.
Last week, too, to review them as well.
Yeah, that's actually really going to help me along because I don't know about you guys, but I'm 23 for 23
No,
on a one horror movie per day this month. I am up to date.
No,
Yay.
I'm not.
That's me all year round.
All right, but that's going to be it for the show this evening. Joey says, just watch Halloween 3, not expecting Myers on its own is good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure from everything I've heard, I'm going to like the movie. I already know Myers is in the movie, so I am looking forward to watching it. So maybe I'll watch it tonight.
What Joey said.
Yeah.
But anyhow, before we end the day off, Nadia, if anyone here has not found you and seeked you out yet, where can they find you and your content?
At Horror and More right there. Right underneath that is my letterbox, which I watch movies and rate them. That's what Letterboxd is for. Anyway, Horror and More is my YouTube. I post videos occasionally. And it's my Instagram. Holla.
Holla, indeed. I sound like such a boomer there. But that's absolutely correct. She makes awesome content. So if you're into spooky stuff at all, make sure you subscribe. She is one of my favorite YouTube channels to watch. But that's going to be it for this week. So thank you all for joining us. Next week is, unfortunately, Nadia's last time on the show for this month. We'll probably have her on again next year. But, of course, it has been a pleasure as always. Can't wait to have her on again next week. And hopefully it'll be some good times as always. So thank you so much for watching. Of course, we do have this stream that goes live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific. I just juked out Kevin. We have our stream that goes live this Wednesdays now for off forever. No more Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we do have our next Movie Club episode, which goes live on Friday, which will be the review of the Russian sci-fi film Stalker. So it's sure to be a very interesting conversation. So make sure you check that episode out when it goes live on Friday. And until next time, have an awesome week, everyone, and keep those eyes on the screen.
Do the thing, Garrett. Do the thing.
Yes.
Do it.
Live long and prosper. That's the new canon ending. Have a good night, everyone.